guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale with another pro versus pro. This time the big matchup that you guys have all been waiting for. It's Surgical Goblin versus Jordan. Not only are both of these players undefeated in pro versus pro challenges at 3-0 for Surgical Goblin and 2-0 for Jordan, but neither of these players have lost a match on this channel in these best of 3s and best of 5s. So this is definitely going to be a match of the heavyweights here, and I'm really excited that both of these players, put it all on the line and agreed to join up and make this happen. So we're getting ready to kick off the first match. For those of you who don't know, this is going to be a best of 5 format, and I suspect Jordan's gonna play some sort of a hog deck. He really made a name for himself playing Trifecta way back in the day when Trifecta really ruled the Clash universe. Lately, not so effective, but who knows, maybe it will make a comeback and maybe Jordan will kind of bust it out for old time's sakes, although I would not hold my breath on that one. Alright guys, so here we go. Jordan's gonna go ahead and start out by mimicking Surgical Goblin's opening move, splitting the archers behind the King Tower, and there goes the Hog Rider in the left lane, gets only one hit against those minions, and then a nice minor play on the return counter push there by Surgical Goblin. A nice defensive Mega Minion coming in to defend there for Jordan. And look at that guys, we called it. Jordan is indeed playing a Hog Rider deck. He has the Hog Rider paired with the Ice Spirit and Ice Golem, two very, very good combos with the Hog Rider, not to mention good defensive units. Surgical Goblin playing maybe a classic minor control deck. We're gonna have to wait and see his last 3 cards there. Oh, and there's one of them, a rocket. So this is gonna be a rocket chip deck here for Surgical Goblin. Really, definitely a control deck here. You can bet your bottom dollar that one of those last 2 cards for Surgical is definitely gonna be a defensive structure to combat that Hog Rider, probably a Cannon, Inferno Tower, or Tombstone. We will have to wait and see. So both of the players kind of in a stalemate right here, waiting for their elixir to replenish. And here comes a miner, just again, chipping away here. Surgical Goblin not going to combo that miner with anything unless it's a counter push. Otherwise, just continuing to get chip damage and then using the rocket here and there once he gains that positive elixir advantage. And there it is, guys. I called it, the Inferno Tower against that Hog Rider. That's going to be a big problem for Jordan here. He does have the protection with the Ice Spirit and Ice Golem, so he is able to get a hit on that tower, but Surgical saves his elixir instead of defending for that one hit on the Hog Rider, and then uses the rocket, and that's exactly what you have to do if you're playing this control rocket miner chip deck. So then Jordan switches lanes, goes to the right lane, and plays kind of a predictive fireball there. Interesting that Jordan decided to switch lanes at that point there. He did have the Mega Minion already in the right lane, but now he has both towers kind of low. Probably a smart move. Jordan is one of the best players when it comes to when and where to switch lanes. Well, I guess where is pretty obvious, Ash. I mean, if you're gonna switch lanes, there's only one option. But here anyway, the Hog Rider this time kind of stymied by that Inferno Tower, and there's the fireball there against the left tower, and he loses his right tower, Jordan that is, and there's his last card, the log. It all makes sense now. I was like, why did he leave that left tower alone? He only has the fireball as far as direct damage goes, but he has the log as his last card. So now we're gonna go ahead and go into overtime here. Who do you think is going to win? Crap, I didn't tell you guys to pause and comment and say who you think is going to win the entire best of 5. Now, I should mention, guys, there are no rules in this best of 5. I let these players change their deck to whatever they want, win or lose. So things will definitely be interesting. And it seems here this one is very, very close. A nice fireball log combo there by Jordan, and that's gonna be it. That fireball log Hog Rider really worked out well, able to get that hog to the tower and capitalize. And look at that, guys. Jordan comes out the gate with the first victory, and this is a momentous occasion, everybody, because Surgical Goblin has just lost his first match ever in a Pro v Pro, and this is again, I think his fourth or third. I think it's fourth Pro v Pro on our channel. I'll have to go ahead and consult. I remember he beat Electrify and Colton, and I believe he swept them both. So that was his first loss ever on this channel. That's pretty crazy, and it just goes to show how good of a hog player Jordan is, able to get that Hog Rider to his towers despite the counters that Surgical Goblin had in his deck. So now what are both players playing? Oh, look at this, guys. Interesting. Surgical Goblin plays the dirty Royal Giant here, and I'm sure Jordan was expecting many things, but not that, and that's the thing about Surge, man. He'll keep you on your toes. Just what you don't expect him to play. The Royal Giant in tournament level standards is not nearly as popular as he is in ladder play, and let's see if Jordan has an answer for him. Look at this. If you look at Jordan's lineup of cards at the top of your screen here, guys, he does not have really any Royal Giant counters besides the Tombstone. I don't know what his last card is. I'm guessing it's a Hog Rider because he does not have a win condition otherwise. You know, the only other card is maybe Graveyard, but I'm assuming it's Jordan here. He's definitely going to be playing a Hog Rider there. And if Surgical Goblin is able to catch Jordan with the Tombstone out of rotation as he has just done, this match is going to be very difficult for Jordan to pull off the victory in. So here, another Mega Minion coming down the lane. Surgical stops it right there and reloads with the Furnace. You can tell it's all about getting that Royal Giant with the Furnace. Basically, when the Furnace gets to about 50% HP, you should have enough Elixir left to go ahead and deploy that Royal Giant, still have Elixir left to back it up with either the Mega Minion or the Archers. And look at that, guys! Full of surprises is Surgical Goblin, this time playing the Giant Skeleton. So I think in the left lane here, we're going to see the Giant Skeleton Royal Giant combo, and there it is, guys. And we did see, by the way, the last card in Jordan's hand as well, and it was indeed the Hog Rider. So Jordan forced to use his Skeleton Trap against that Giant Skeleton, keeping him at bay away from the tower there, and he says GG because he knows the Royal Giant has his tower down, and he has no way of getting the Hog Rider to the tower and defending with only 20 seconds left on the clock. You can see this one is going to be all tied up. Surgical Goblin won, Jordan won, and Jordan's gotta be feeling pretty surprised right now and caught a little bit off guard there. I think Surgical Goblin knew he was gonna play the Hog deck, figured why not go Royal Giant. He probably won't have anything big in terms of Inferno Tower, Barbarians, Mini P.E.K.K.A, any of the natural counters to Royal Giant. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and bring you the next match when we're live. Alright guys, so here we are back, match 3. This one is best of 5, guys. Another reminder, best of 5 here. Jordan comes out of the gate with the Hog Rider and Mega Minion combo, but, uh-oh guys, it's not out of the gate. I'm a dummy. I started recording a little bit late, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure I bring you the beginning, the first minute of this match at the end of this video. My bad there, guys, but you can see you didn't miss much. Neither of the towers have really been touched that much. There is a little bit of damage done to the right tower there on Jordan's end, so Surgical Goblin has the slight lead here. Another Furnace for Surgical Goblin, and Surge is playing the Bowler Graveyard deck. We don't know what he has to combo it with. Is it a Fireball or is it Freeze? You can bet that it's going to be one of those two cards to combo with the Graveyard. So interesting to see what he has as the other card here. You can already see Jordan's deck, and Jordan going with what he knows, going with what he's good at. He did sub in the Inferno Tower, as you can see. You never know if Surgical Goblin's going to go ahead and continue to switch things up with maybe a Giant or a Golem deck, or certainly if he played another Royal Giant deck, he was going to be in trouble, so he did add the Inferno Tower, a little bit more of a defensive twist on this Hog deck variation that Jordan's playing here. He switches lanes, he sees the Bowler in the right lane, he immediately deploys deploys the hog into the left lane, and here comes a graveyard bowler combo for Surgical Goblin here, and I think oh, there it is, guys, freeze spell, and oh, what a beautiful freeze spell there, able to freeze the princess and get a little bit more damage done to Jordan's right tower. There goes the Hog Rider for Jordan there, comboed with the Fireball. Hog Rider's probably going to get 2 or 3 hits on this tower here, make that, okay, 2 hits, and the furnace down, so a pretty good counter push there for Jordan, and immediately he's able to cycle back to that Hog Rider. That was a really quick cycle, and this match is going to go to overtime. This is a really big match here. Not a deciding match, but certainly whoever wins this one is going to have a lot of momentum, and it looks like it might be Surgical Goblin. There's the freeze spell. There's the Mega Minion. Jordan scrambling, and he loses the tower, and Surgical Goblin is able to pull off the victory. I'll be right back at you with the next match, guys. And here we are with match 4, guys. We are live again. Now, if Surgical Goblin wins this match, he takes the Pro v Pro. Jordan came out the gate pretty strong with a Hog Rider deck, pulling off the victory against Surgical Goblin's Minor Cycle deck. Then Surgical Goblin took the second match with Royal Giant, Furnace, and the third match he took with Bowler Graveyard. I forgot for a second there. Ash, it was only 30 seconds ago, man. Keep with it. Stay with it, man. So, okay, this time, interesting. Jordan decides to play a Giant deck, so a beatdown, ooh, and against an Expo deck. So, both players going a little bit out of what they're known for here. Surgical Goblin going with an Expo Rocket deck. Ooh, boy, he ought to be making everybody mad at him here, playing the Royal Giant and then coming back with the Expo Rocket deck. But you know what? That's what I love about Surgical Goblin. He doesn't use, or he's not afraid to use cards or decks that are unpopular or necessarily out of the meta, like you saw he used the Giant Skeleton in his Royal Giant deck. So Surgical Goblin really not afraid to use all the cards in the game regardless of their popularity, and he proves it right there with a Sparky. Now this is a weird deck here that Surgical Goblin is playing, guys. I don't know, I kind of like it. The Expo Sparky Rocket deck? I mean, wow, what a weird deck. Now unfortunately, Jordan marches his Giant right into that Inferno Tower there, and Surgical, seeing that he has his Giant out of rotation, he immediately drops that Expo there. So once this Tombstone is down here, the Expo is going to lock onto that tower pretty soon here, and there it is, because Jordan did not have his Giant, which he's going to have to rely on very heavily to stop that Expo from targeting, locking onto his right tower. So Jordan might be in a little bit of trouble here, guys. I mean, he has the interesting deck with the Giant Lightning. All he needs to do is get off a Giant Rage Lightning combination, but it's going to be difficult going against the Inferno Tower. Actually, Surgical Goblin has a lot of answers again to the deck that Jordan chose as well, and it's kind of like a game of rock, paper, scissors. If your opponent chooses rock and you're putting out the paper, you're going to be in trouble, and that's kind of happened to Jordan here again. Surgical Goblin being smart, including the Inferno Tower in these random blind matches, not knowing exactly what Jordan's going to play, but he's kind of lucked out with it in the matches since he has used the Inferno Tower. Really good job at stopping the Hog Rider as well as the Giant. So Tombstone played, Sparky played at the bridge there for Surgical, and the Sparky could actually be a little bit of trouble here if Jordan does not get rid of him quickly, and he does. Thankfully, the tower is able to take down that Sparky, so now it's just going to come down to rocket damage, and there it is, guys. A Rocket Log combo finishes the game and finishes the Pro v Pro entire best of 5 in Surgical Goblin's favor, so Surge picks up the victory. Surgical Goblin remains not totally undefeated because he lost his first match, but undefeated in the overall Pro vs. Pro. So guys, as promised, I'm going to go ahead and put in the first minute of that third match, I believe, that I missed the first minute on, just in case any of you guys are curious how the match actually started out. Now, while I'm showing this, be sure to comment below. Let me know who you want to see face one of these players next. Do you guys want a rematch? Maybe you guys should pick the pros' decks. I also just had a pro interview series with Marcel P, a first-time pro. I think maybe he would be the one, if anybody, to dethrone Surgical Goblin. You guys let me know what you think. I want to do what you guys want to see. That's what this channel is all about. So guys, thank you so much for watching as we near the, I think it was 2 minutes and 5 seconds. So I'm going to cut out now. You can see how the damage was done. Another graveyard combo there by Surgical. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And special thanks to my two pros. You can see their contact information in the description below. Be sure to hit them up on Twitter. Say how much you loved their matches. And be sure to subscribe to Surgical Goblin on YouTube. I'll include that link as well. So guys, thank you so much for watching. And as always, take care, guys.